Hello everyone and welcome to Kiki Crochet. In this video tutorial, we're going to learn how to crochet step by step this beautiful summer backpack. The total measurements are 24 centimeters wide and 18 centimeters height. Now let's go ahead and see the materials I'm going to use and how to start. For my backpack, I'm going to use t-shirt yarn. It's 100% cotton. I'm going to use leather straps, a magnetic button, and a handmade grease sign to put in the end. And I'm going to crochet with a 7mm crochet hook. Let's go ahead and see how to start. Okay, so now let's start. And I'm going to start with my beginning knot, which does not count as one of my chain stitches. Okay, I'm going to work a total of 11 chains. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Now, from those 11 stitches, because row number 1 is going to be a row of single crochet, I'm skipping my first chain, so I have a total of 10 stitches to work into. Out of those 10 stitches, the first and the last stitch I'm going to work increases, so I have a total of 8 stitches in the center to work into. Okay, so skip the first chain, put your hook in the second one, and work a total of 2 single crochet in the same stitch. Oops. 1, same stitch, 2. Now go ahead and work a total of 8 single crochet, 1 stitch in every stitch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. I'm left with my last chain stitch, in which I'm going to work a total of 4 single crochet in the same stitch. This is going to be an increase to make it look round right over here in the end, and work on the opposite side of my chain stitches. Okay, so work a total of 4 single crochet in the same stitch. 1, next stitch, 2, 3, and the last stitch in the same stitch, 4. Okay, so 4 single crochet in the same stitch. Now we're working in the opposite side of the chain stitches, and again, whatever I did before my increases, I want to do after the increases as well. So I'm going to work a total of 8 single crochet in each of the next stitches. Starting from the next stitch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and my last stitch, 8. Now, in the increases over here, I worked a total of 4 stitches in the same stitch. Right here in the beginning of the row, I worked a total of 2 single crochet in the same stitch. In order to have the same increases with the other end, I want to work 2 more stitches in the same stitch that I worked in the beginning of the row. So in the next stitch, which is the same as I worked the 2 stitches in the beginning, I'm going to work 2 more single crochet to finish my row with. 1, same stitch, 2. Now put your hook in the first single crochet for this row and work a slip stitch. Chain 1. Now I'm going to be working increases in the one end and in the other end, and I'm going to have the stitches in between the 1 single crochet in every stitch. So starting from the very first single crochet, I'm going to work 2 stitches in the same stitch. 1 single crochet and 1 more single crochet in the same stitch. And 2 single crochet in the next stitch as well. 1, same stitch, 2. And I'm going to work a total of 8 single crochet in the center. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Now in each of the next 4 stitches, I'm going to work an increase 2 single crochet in the same stitch for a total of 8 single crochet on the end over here to keep having a round edge over here so it doesn't curve inwards. Okay, so starting from the next stitch, 2 single crochet in the same stitch, 1, same stitch, 2. Now in the next single crochet, 3, same stitch, 4. Now in the next single crochet, 5, same stitch, 6. Now in the next and last stitch for the increase, 7, same stitch, 8. Now, as I did before the increases, I'm going to do the same thing after the increases as well. I'm going to work 1 single crochet in each of the next 8 stitches. Okay, so starting from the next single crochet, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Now I worked an increase in the first 2 stitches, so I have a total of 4 single crochet. Now I want to work increases in the last 2 stitches to give me my other 4 single crochet. So I have 8 single crochet in the one end and 8 single crochet in the other end of the base of my backpack. So in the next single crochet, I'm going to work 2 single crochet in the same stitch, 1, same stitch, 2, and my next stitch, 3, same stitch, 4. Now put your hook in the first single crochet for this row and work a slip stitch. Chain 1, and this was the end of row number 2. So I have 8 single crochet on the one side, 8 on the other, 16, 8 on the one edge, 24, and 8 on the other, 32. Now again, I'm going to work an increase in the first 2 and the last 2 stitches and the 4 stitches right here in the edge. But instead of having 8 stitches in the center, in this row I'm going to have a total of 12 stitches in the center. Okay, so starting from the first stitch, work 2 single crochet in the same stitch, 1 same stitch, 2, and 2 more stitches in the next stitch, 3 same stitch, 4. Now 1 single crochet in each of the next 12 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. Now I'm going to work increases in each of the next 4 stitches again. So 2 single crochet in each of the next 4 stitches. So next stitch, 1 same stitch, 2, next stitch, 3 same stitch, 4, next stitch, 5, same stitch, 6, and my last stitch where I'm going to work my increases, oops, 7, same stitch, 8. So as I did before my increases, after the increases I'm going to work again 1 single crochet in each of the next 12 stitches. Starting from the next stitch, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. And in order to have the same number of increases on the one side and as well on the other, I'm going to work 2 single crochet in each of the last 2 stitches. So in the next stitch, 1 same stitch, 2, and the last stitch for this row, 3 same stitch, 4, and the 4 single crochet in the beginning of the row, 8 stitches in the one end and 8 stitches on the other. Put your hook in the first single crochet for this row and slip stitch, chain 1. Okay, so here we are in the end of row number 3, where I have 12 on the one side, 12 on the other, 24, plus 8, 32, plus 8, 40 stitches in the end of row number 3. Now we're going to work the last row for the base, where again I'm going to work an increase in the first 2 stitches. So in the first stitch for this row, work 2 single crochet, 1 same stitch, 2, next stitch, 3, same stitch, 4. Now in the center, I'm going to work 1 single crochet in each of the next 16 stitches. Starting from the next stitch, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and my last stitch, 16. Now I'm going to work my increases, 2 single crochet in each of the next 4 stitches. Starting from the next stitch, 1, same stitch, 2, next stitch, 3, same stitch, 4, next stitch, 5, same stitch, 6, and my last stitch for the increase, next one, 7, and in the same stitch, 8. Now, as I did before the increases, I'm going to work the same thing after the increases. So 1 single crochet in each of the next 16 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and my last stitch, 16. Now in the last 2 stitches for this row, I'm going to work 2 single crochet in every stitch. So I have 8 stitches in the one end and 8 stitches on the other. So starting from the next stitch, work 2 single crochet in the same stitch, 1, same stitch, 2, and the next stitch, 3, same stitch, 4. Put your hook in the first single crochet for this row and work a slip stitch and chain 1. So this was the end of row number 4 and the last row for the base of our backpack. Now I have 16 stitches on the one side, 16 on the other, 32, plus 8, 40, plus 8, 48. So my backpack, up until I finish it, it's going to have a total of 48 single crochet in every single row. Now we're going to start crocheting the rows for the backpack. We're finished with the base, and what we're going to do, in order for the base to seem as if it's separated from the rest of our backpack, instead of crocheting, and this happens only in the first row after our base, okay? Instead of crocheting regularly in the single crochet, when we put our hook in the single crochet, we have the front loop and the back loop. So what we're going to be doing is, for the first row after the base, we're going to be crocheting in the back loops of the single crochet, okay? So put your hook in the center of the 2 loops and grab the back loop, next stitch, the back loop, the back loop, and so on, okay? So starting from the first single crochet, put your hook in the back loop, 1, next stitch, 2, next stitch, 3, next one, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and keep working single crochet in the back loops only up until you have 48 single crochet. Once I finish my 48 stitches, I'm going to turn my video back on to see how to finish the first row after the base and how to start row number 2. I've worked my 48 single crochet all around, and the results that I want to get by crocheting in the back loop is this outline of the front loop of every stitch of the single crochet in the end from the base, okay? So now we have a separation of the base from the rest of our work. So this is the result that we want to get. So after my 48th single crochet, put your hook in the first stitch for this row and work a slip stitch. And this is the only slip stitch that we're going to work up until the end of our backpack now. So chain 1. From here on, we're going to be working all around in the good side of our work. You're not going to be turning your work, okay? Same thing as far as we're doing so far. We're only crocheting on the good side. So from here on, we're crocheting regularly in every stitch. So starting from the first single crochet, 1, next stitch, 2, next stitch, 3, 4, 5, and keep crocheting up until you have 48 stitches. Okay, so if you're afraid that you're going to get confused, you can put a stitch marker in your 48th stitch. So every time that you reach your 48th single crochet, you can take out the stitch marker, work your last stitch, and put again the stitch marker in there. Now, what I forgot to mention when I finished my base is, see here where we worked in the first row, the 4 single crochet in the same stitch, how we have a big ugly hole right over here. In the end of your work, in order to avoid this this hole over here, you can put a piece of this yarn in the back loops of the single crochet all around that hole. Then pull the yarn and tighten it up and work and make a knot. So this way, this hole over here is going to close up and it's going to look the same way as it does on the other end as well. Okay, so I forgot to mention that after I finished my base, because we don't want to have this big hole looking like this in the end of our backpack. Now keep crocheting 1 single crochet in every stitch for 48 stitches all around. I've completed working my 48 single crochet for the second row after the base, and see how my backpack has already started to build up. Okay, so from here on, we're going to work off camera. And what we're going to be doing is, see here where I worked my 48th stitch, you can put a stitch marker so you know that this is going to be the last stitch of the row. Now starting from the very first single crochet, start counting from number 1 again. No slip stitches, no anything, just single crochet all around. Okay, so again, 1, next stitch, 2, 3, 4, and keep crocheting 48 stitches in every single row. Now, once I finish working all of my rows, I'm going to turn my video back on. I'm going to mention how high it is at that point where I finished and how many rows I've worked. Okay, so keep working 48 stitches in every row. I've completed crocheting so far, and I've worked after the base a total of 14 rows with 48 single crochet in each of those rows. Okay, now in my last row, after my 48th stitch, I'm going to put my hook in the next stitch and I'm going to work a slip stitch, chain 1, cut the yarn, pull the loop, and tighten up. And this is how our backpack looks so far. Now let's see how we're going to make the lid. Let's start crocheting our lid, and I have already started with my chain and I've worked a total of 11 chains. Now because we're going to work single crochet again, I'm going to lose my first chain, so I have a total of 10 chains to work into. Out of those 10 chains, I'm going to work in the first 9, and my 10th chain, I'm going to use to work my increases. Okay, so let's start. Skip the first chain, put your hook in the second, and work your first single crochet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. So I'm left with my last chain now, in which I'm going to work a total of 4 single crochet. 1, same stitch, 2, same stitch, 3, same stitch for the last time, 4. Now I'm going to do the same exact thing as I did before my increases, so I'm going to work a total of 9 single crochet in the opposite side of my chain stitches. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and my last stitch, 9. Chain 1 and turn your work. I'm going to work 1 single crochet in each of the first 9 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. Now each of the next 4 stitches are my increase, but instead of working 2 single crochet in every stitch as we did for the base, because we don't want it to look bad on our lid because it's going to be on the front of our backpack, instead of working 2 single crochet, I'm going to work 1 single crochet and a chain 1 space. That chain 1 space after every single crochet is going to give me my extra stitch that I want. So first single crochet, first chain 1 space, next stitch, second single crochet, second chain 1 space, next stitch, third single crochet, third chain 1 space, and in the next stitch, fourth single crochet and our fourth chain one space. Now work 1 single crochet in each of the last 9 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and my last stitch, 9. So this was my second row. Chain 1 and turn your work. Now work 1 single crochet in each of the first stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. My next stitch is the first chain one space. So work 1 single crochet under the chain one space and put a stitch marker, because in that stitch we're going to start our increases in the next row. 1 single crochet on top of the single crochet under the next chain one space, 1 single crochet on top of the single crochet, 1 single crochet under the chain one space, 1 single crochet on top of the single crochet, 1 single crochet under the last chain one space, in which again I'm going to put a stitch marker, because from the one stitch marker we're going to start the increases, and in the other we're going to finish. Now work 1 single crochet in each of the last stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and my last stitch, 10. Chain 1 and turn your work to start row number 4, in which we're going to work increases. So 1 single crochet in each of the first stitches up until we reach the stitch marker. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Take out the stitch marker, and now we're going to be working single crochet and the chain one space. 1 single crochet, so first single crochet and the first chain one space, second single crochet, second chain one space, third single crochet, third chain one space, fourth single crochet and a fourth chain one space, fifth single crochet and a fifth chain one space, sixth single crochet and the sixth chain one space. So this was my last chain one space, and from the next stitch work 1 single crochet in every stitch up until you finish the row. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and my last stitch, 10. Chain 1 and turn your work. Now we're going to start row number 5, in which we're going to work 1 single crochet in every stitch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now my first chain 1 space, work a single crochet and put a stitch marker, because from that stitch in the next row we're going to start our increases. Single crochet on top of the single crochet, 1 single crochet under the chain 1 space, 1 single crochet on top of the single crochet, 1 stitch under the chain 1 space, 1 stitch on the single crochet, 1 stitch under the chain 1 space, 1 stitch on top of the single crochet, 1 stitch under the chain 1 space, 1 stitch on top of the single crochet, 1 stitch under the chain 1 space, and this is my last chain 1 space, so I'm going to put a stitch marker on that single crochet. So from the 1 stitch marker to the other, we're going to begin and end our increases in the next row. Now 1 single crochet up until we finish the row. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11. Chain 1 and turn your work. Now 1 single crochet up until we reach the first stitch marker. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11. Now take out the stitch marker, and again 1 single crochet and a chain 1 space. So first single crochet, first chain 1 space, second single crochet, second chain 1 space, third stitch, third space, fourth stitch, fourth space, fifth stitch and space, sixth stitch, chain 1 space, seventh stitch, chain 1 space, eighth stitch, chain 1 space, ninth stitch, chain 1 space, and my 10th stitch and chain 1 space. Take out the stitch marker and 1 single crochet up until you finish the row. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11. So far we have worked a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 rows, and we're left with 2 more rows. Chain 1 and turn your work. In row number 7, we're going to work 1 single crochet in every stitch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and I've reached my first chain 1 space where I'm going to work a single crochet and put a stitch marker. Single crochet on the single crochet, single crochet in the chain 1 space, single crochet on the single crochet, single crochet under the chain 1 space, single crochet on the single crochet, single crochet in the chain 1 space, single crochet on the single crochet, single crochet under the chain 1 space, single crochet on the single crochet, single crochet under the chain 1 space, single crochet on the single crochet, 1 stitch under the chain 1 space, 1 stitch on the single crochet, 1 stitch under the chain 1 space, 1 stitch on the single crochet, 1 stitch under the chain 1 space, and 1 single crochet on the single crochet, 1 single crochet under the chain 1 space, which is the last stitch, the last chain 1 space. So I'm going to put a stitch marker on this single crochet, and now 1 single crochet up until we finish the row. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and my last stitch, 12. Chain 1 and turn your work. Now I'm going to work off camera 1 single crochet in every stitch up until I reach my stitch marker. I've worked 12 single crochet. Now I'm going to take out my stitch marker, and because this is the last row and we've already worked a lot of increases, in order to avoid our lid to get wiggly, we're going to work our chain 1 space after every 3rd single crochet. So count 1, next stitch, 2, 3, and chain 1. Again, 1, 2, 3, chain 1. Again, 1, 2, 3, chain 1. 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 Take out your stitch marker and work 1 single crochet up until you finish the row. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. Chain 1. So this is how my lid looks like at this point. Okay, we worked all of our rows, total of 8 rows. Okay, and this is how it looks like. Now we're going to do a last row right on top of over here. We have a total of 16 rows, and we're going to have 16 single crochet plus 1 extra stitch that comes up over here in the center where we started. We're going to have a total of 17 stitches. Okay, so we're going to work the extra row, and we're going to work 1 single crochet on top of each of the first single crochet of every row. So I have chained 1, and go ahead and work 1 single crochet on top of the single crochet that you just worked in this last row. Okay, 1 single crochet. Next row, 2, next one, 3, next one, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 is the center, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, and my last stitch, 18. Chain 1, leave a long tail because we're going to sew. Pull the loop and tighten up. So now it's ready to be attached on our backpack. So let's go ahead and see how to attach. Okay, before I start attaching, I want to make sure that I'm seeing the right side of the stitches on my backpack and the right side of the single crochet that I just worked. Okay, now flip the lid so you're seeing the wrong side of the stitches. The top part of the lid is touching the base of the bag, and now we're going to start attaching. Okay, so put your needle on the lid, on the first stitch on the lid, and take out the stitch marker and the first stitch on the backpack. Now from the inside out, second stitch from the backpack, second stitch from the lid. Now from the outside to the inside, third stitch from the lid, third from the backpack. Fourth stitch from the backpack, fourth in the lid. Make sure you tighten up every time. Fifth stitch on the lid, fifth on the backpack. Sixth on the backpack, sixth on the lid. Seventh on the lid, seventh on the backpack. Eighth on the lid and eighth on the backpack. Eighth on the backpack and eighth on the lid. Sorry for making those mistakes. Now, the reason that I'm sewing as I go through and we're going together, I have 17 rows and 16 stitches. Now, put your hook in the 9th stitch on the lid and back into the 8th stitch on the backpack. Now go ahead into the 9th stitch from the backpack and again in the 9th stitch of the lid. And now go ahead and stitch up until you reach the last stitch. The reason that I did this is because I want the 9th stitch to grab both center stitches on my backpack in order to have a straight lid on a straight backpack. I've completed attaching. Okay, I brought my yarn on the inside. Now work a knot right here on the inside loop and weave in the end on the inside loops of the single crochet. Once I do that off camera, I'm going to turn my video back on to see how to continue. I've completed sewing the lid on my backpack and this is how it looks like. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and crochet the bag handle. Then we're going to see how to attach the straps, and in the end I'm going to explain how we're going to attach the magnetic button, and in the end how we're going to attach the handmade sign on our backpack. Now we're going to start to create the bag handle. Okay, so I'm going to start with my beginning knot, and as we mentioned earlier, the beginning knot does not count as one of our chains. And chain 3. 1, 2, and 3. Skip the first chain, put your hook in the second, and work 1 single crochet, and 1 single crochet in the last chain. Okay, now without chaining, turn your work. And what I'm gonna do, if I was going to crochet regularly in the single crochet, I would work 1 stitch here and 1 stitch over here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to use the front loop of the second single crochet, and I'm going to put my hook from the back to the front on that loop, and I'm also going to grab this loop that touches the loop that I just grabbed. Okay, so I'm going to grab that loop as well. Okay, so we're grabbing those 2 loops and we're gonna work 1 single crochet. Okay, so from the back to the front, grab the front loop of the 2nd single crochet and the loop that touches it, and work 1 single crochet. So grab the yarn, pull it under those 2 loops, and yarn through the last 2 loops, and we have our single crochet. Now from here on we're going to be turning our work. Okay, and what I want to do now is I want to grab 1 loop, 2 loops. I want to grab those 2 loops over here with my crochet hook. So grab the top loop and the loop that's right underneath it and work your single crochet. So grab the yarn, pull it under those 2 loops, grab the yarn, pull through those last 2. Now again, when I'm going to turn my work, I'm going to use those 2 loops over here, 1 and 2. So turn your work and grab the top loop and the one that's underneath it. Okay, so I'm grabbing those 2 loops, grab the yarn, pull it through those 2 loops, grab the yarn, pull it through the last 2, and we have our single crochet. Now once I turn my work, those are the 2 loops that I'm going to grab. This is the bottom one and this is the top one. So turn your work and grab those 2 loops, grab the yarn, pull it under the loops, grab the yarn, pull it under the last 2 loops. Now again, when I turn my work, those 2 over here are the 2 loops that I want to grab. So turn your work, grab the top loop and the ones underneath it, and work your single crochet. So grab the yarn, pull it under the 2 loops, grab the yarn, pull it through the 2 loops in your hook. Now again, those 2 are the 2 loops that I want to grab. So turn your work and grab the top loop and the one that's underneath it, grab the yarn, pull it through the 2 loops, grab the yarn, pull it through the 2 loops of your hook. Now again, these over here are the 2 loops that I want to grab. So turn your work, grab those 2 loops. Okay, grab the yarn, pull it under the 2 loops, grab the yarn, pull through the 2 loops on your hook. And this is the result that we get when we do the technique. So always turn your work and grab those 2 loops that are right here. So when you turn it, they are on your left, those 2 loops over here. And this is how our cord looks like. Okay, you can use this technique to make your bag handles as well, but we're going to use leather straps instead. But if you don't have leather straps, you can use this technique as well. Okay, so when I finish, I'm going to turn my video back on to see how to attach it on our backpack. I've completed working the handle and it is a total of 12 centimeters. Okay, if you want to make it longer, you can go ahead, but I think it's just right what we need. So once we finish, once we work the last single crochet, pull the loop and tighten up. So now let's go ahead and see how to attach it on our backpack. Okay, so now in order to attach the handle on our backpack, what we're going to use as a center to make sure that we are attaching correctly is right over here, the beginning chain that we worked to make our lid. Okay, so this beginning chain over here marks the center of the back of my backpack. So in order to make sure that you are using the correct that you're using the beginning chain as your center, put your finger in the center right over here and count the rows that you have on your right and the rows that you have on your left. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and on the other side 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So this line over here is the beginning chain that we worked. So since this is the center right over here, I want my handle to be on the right and on the left side of that center. So what I'm going to do is from the inside I am going to grab the one piece of yarn and I'm going to pull it on the inside. Okay. And on the left side as well, from the inside through the outside, grab the other piece of yarn and pull it through. Now those two pieces of yarn on the inside, you're going to weave in the ends, but before you weave in, you want to make sure that you make a knot right over here on this loop of the single crochet. Make a knot and then weave in. Same thing here, make a knot and then weave in. Okay, so now we have it attached in the center. Now once we have it attached in the center, take your needle and sew it on your backpack. Because I cannot manage the backpack under my video camera, so this is why I'm explaining verbally how to do it. So with your needle, grab it and sew from the outside through the inside, inside through the outside a few times right here in the edge, the last loops. Same thing on the other side over here, sew it a few times right here in the last loops, going from the outside through the inside and from the inside through to the outside. Okay, a few times on this side, a few times on this side, and your back handle is ready. I've attached my back handle, and now we're going to attach the leather straps, and make sure that you're seeing the good side of your straps. Okay, the good side, you're gonna have the things that you fix the size. Okay, you want to have the good side. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the link and I'm going to put it right here in the center of the handle, and I'm going to sew 4 or 5 times around. So you're going to be going down, inside, down, up on the inside. You're going to be going down, up on the inside. This way you're wrapping the yarn, in the same time you're sewing around your link right over here. Once I finish sewing the link, I'm going to turn my video back on to see how and where to sew the bottom links of our backpack. I've attached the center link up here. Now what we're going to do is we're going to attach the bottom links on our backpack down here in the base that we made. Okay, so I'm folding so the base is right on the top, and what I want to do is, see right here, this center over here is the beginning chain that we worked, and the stitches around it are the first row. Now taking right here the corner where I made my 4 single crochet in the same stitch, take the first diagonal stitch, second, third diagonal stitch, and this is where you're going to attach your first link. And for us to be easier, we can detach the strap and have the link by itself. Okay, so we're going to attach in the corner over here. Now take the other edge where we worked the 4 single crochet in the same stitch and go 1 diagonal stitch, 2 in the third diagonal stitch right over here. You're going to attach your second link. This way both of the links are going to be attached in the same exact way. Now once you attach your links, what you're going to do next is you're going to attach the button, which as well we're going to do off camera. And what we want to do is, again, we're going to use as a center right here the center of our lid. This is our beginning chain. On the left I have my rows, and on the right I have my other 8 rows. Okay, so go up. You can use a ruler or anything that you want to make sure that you're going to attach in the correct spot. Okay, and attach your button in starting from the second row. Okay, you don't want to attach up here because the button is going to be showing under the under the lid, it is going to look ugly, okay? So attach with thread over here in the little ears that it has over here, and once you attach, you're going to close your button, but make sure you have put a few things in your backpack to stuff it, to make sure where you're going to attach the bottom piece of the button. Okay, once you have sewn the button on here, stuff your backpack and close it to see where it closes. Make sure that on the back the piece is straight. Okay, you don't want the one side to be smaller and the other bigger. This means that you have attached your button crooked. So make sure it's right and attach it, and on the spot that it attaches, detach your button and sew with thread around the little ears over here as well. So once I do those 2 steps off camera, I'm going to turn my video back on to see how we're going to attach our handmade on our backpack to finish it up. I've completed my backpack. I've attached my buttons. I sewed the links on the back, as I mentioned before I turned my video off. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to attach my handmade piece over here. So because I have my button down here, I want to attach the handmade piece a little more to the top, but make sure that it's on the center of your lid. Okay? Now I'm going to take the metal piece and I'm going to place it on the back. Okay? And fold the metal pieces on the inside. Okay, and our backpack is ready. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe, and if you like the video, please press like and leave a comment. Thanks again. Bye bye.